United States of America is changing its relationship with the people of Cuba.
A surprise announcement sparks hope as one-time Cold War foe takes a tentative step towards normal relations. The trade embargo stays in place for now, but the countries swapped prisoners and lifted some trade and travel restrictions. For Cuba, it all holds the eventual promise of a free flow of U.S. dollars and maybe an end to its cycle of poverty. And for the U.S., a largely untapped market for American goods and access to Cuban natural resources and tourism, not to mention those once forbidden Cuban cigars. Here to talk about that and more is our business panel, Elmer Kim, Managing Director at Roynat Equity, and Michael Hyatt, Executive Chairman of Blue Cat. Hello to you both. All right, so Elmer, you know, people have really been using big language to kind of describe how momentous this moment is. One said this is like the fall of the Berlin Wall. Do you think that's a fair comparison, at least from Cuba's point of view?
Well, it's clearly a huge step in the Western Hemisphere. This is probably the most important freedom action since really the fall of the Berlin Wall. The important thing is the Americans will start, economic activity. There will be trade, and there will be people coming back and forth.
You think it's just a matter of time? How soon do you think we could see the kind of relationship that Canada has with Cuba have the U.S. having with Cuba?
Well, if they get the trade embargo lifted, and there's a whole bunch of steps that have to go through both houses of the government in the U.S., they're just going to be free flowing of activity down there. The question is how quickly can both the House of Representatives and the Senate get across this?
All right, now we don't want to come across as too selfish, but a lot of Canadians, about 1 million Canadians, go to Cuba because it's one of the cheapest places to go to get away from the cold. So what do you think, Michael? Do you think now that we could start seeing more and more Americans going there? Do you think that could mean an end to some of those, $500 or $600, all week, all included vacations for Canadians?
Yeah, I think in one way it will, but this is all about the Cuban people. Nothing helps an economy like democracy, so we're going to let a lot of U.S. dollars in. So for the viewers, Cuba's economy is about 10 times smaller of that of Ontario in GDP. But if we bring in a lot more American dollars there, the resorts are going to get better, people are going to do better. We have a country there where the waiters are the richest people because they get some kind of tips and services. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really going to help this economy. It's going to help those people. I've been to Havana. It's like going to this time warp of 1959. The cars are still 1959. It's gorgeous, but it really needs to help the people out there. This is going to be a tremendous thing for them.
Is this a good opportunity for business people like yourselves with the Americans going in, or have Canadian businesses enjoyed a little bit of a free ride because the Americans aren't there?
Well, Canadians have been a disproportionate beneficiary of this embargo. I think, you look at great Canadian companies like Sherritt, they have terrific opportunities down there. They have developed a long-term relationship with these people, and it's going to come back in value for the next 10 years.
To Canada's credit, we actually brokered this deal. We helped broker it, and we've had a great relationship. Trudeau, back in '76, had a very, very close relationship with the regime there. And then, they've done well. It was us in Mexico who stayed in touch with the Cubans. We're their #1 trading partner. So I think we're seen as a very good partner to the Cuban people.
All right.